Just like that.
Magic.
This internet thing might actually work. It might stick around for a while. It's a thing. It's actually a thing.
Maybe so.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? Happy
Doing.
Tuesday. Happy second
Yes.
Tuesday.
Is it a Tuesday?
Yeah, I hope so. Otherwise, we're on the wrong day.
It feels like friggin' Thursday afternoon to me for
It
some
would be
reason.
nice if they were that close to Friday at this point. I feel like it's been a hell of a week already. We put in enough work to be Friday.
Yeah, for sure. And we got a lot of stuff to go through today, and so we're going to dive right in. I mean, for one, we have a let's call him a very cool guest today. Even though I think people are quick to learn that he's only so cool, you know. But he's got a very cool position. He's got a cool job in a cool
That's right.
company. And some days he's cool. Some days he is less cool, I guess. But we like him and we tolerate him and he tolerates us.
He's cool to us because he's one of our best sellers.
Exactly.
And he helps us do a lot of stuff. They've got a whole lot of gear to sell, and he has a lot of great knowledge on what people can do to be successful selling used gear on GearSource or anywhere. So.
Well, and Aaron, so we're talking about Aaron from PRG. Aaron runs all of the used equipment sales at PRG and has been a friend to GearSource for a lot of years. And really, I think as far as knowledge of the used equipment market, how to list stuff, how to sell stuff effectively and keep it sold, not get a lot of returns. I think he's really evolved that role. I remember, and we won't say this when he's on, so we'll say it now, but I remember a day when you sold a PRG thing and you kind of sat by your phone going, please don't ring, because a lot of times it came back, because the gear wasn't properly prepped or it wasn't, the funny one used to be when we'd sell something for PRG and then there was this mad scramble on, no one knew where it was. It was in one of their locations, but they didn't know which one. And so that was sometimes challenging. But I will tell you that as a company, and certainly with Aaron there, they've come a long way to a point where now not only are they our biggest seller, but also one of the best. They respond really quickly. The gear is prepped, and yeah, so it's a good thing. So we're really looking forward to bringing Aaron on today. That'll be fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting and hopefully educational time for everybody.
Yeah. So. And one thing I wanted to quickly mention while we're in this deep thoughts moment here is timing. And when I speak of timing, it's, when you're going to need something, like this is something that was always kind of a thing in our industry, but now it's even a bigger thing. And, when you're going to need something in March, don't order it at the end of February or the beginning of March. And so there's a particular deal we did recently, which was a rather large deal for a rather large tour. And because of timing, it ended up costing the buyer roughly $200,000 in freight. And, that's a big number. I mean, it was $500,000 worth of gear, but still 200,000, a third of the cost of the gear in freight was just a massive number. And it, was it necessary? I mean, given how everything went together, there was no other way to do it. But certainly with a little bit of planning, that 200,000 could have been 50,000.
Yeah, certain, absolutely. And I know that people are running up against that challenge on the front end on the rental side, that shows are waiting to book until the last minute, and therefore, rental companies have to wait until the last minute to make decisions on procurement and all those things. But the more that we can start the conversation, even if it's a little bit hypothetical ahead of time, the more likely it is that we're going to be able to do it A, successfully, and B, affordably. So yeah, definitely.
Well, and sadly, those costs are getting pushed off to someone. So, whether it's the artist who's touring or the end user who it's an install or whatever, those costs are being pushed off to somebody. And therefore, let's not give that money to freight companies if we don't have to, or airlines or whatever. So
yeah, at the end of the day, they're the ones that win. We've talked about this before, but freight rates, are just insane right now. And there's really, unfortunately, no way to combat it other than plan ahead and do the best that you can to be able to shop around and make some decisions rather than have to be under the gun. So.
Yeah, we've actually seen some ocean freight rates that were higher than air freight, from certain parts of the world, and it was just like, what? It's cheaper to fly something from Asia than it is to put it on a boat, and these are just the wacky times that we're in right now. So,
absolutely.
So yeah, anything else on this deep thoughts thing? Do you have any deep thoughts?
I have lots of deep thoughts, but none worth sharing. So I think that's
so let's
it.
keep moving, because I know we're gonna want to get Aaron on here quickly. So anything new and hot this week as far as GearSource listings?
Yes,
I guess there better be a PRG one in here somewhere, just in case.
I can't promise
we get busted.
But yeah, no, we do have some listings this week. So this is a new one from our Christie pile that we've mentioned, doing factory overstock. I don't even really know what this is because I'm not a video guy, but I think it's a cool thing. And I know that it's a lot cheaper than it would be if you bought it at dealer cost of what it used to be. So
and there's 29 of them.
There are a lot of them.
Buy lots.
Yeah,
buy lots of them.
That is certainly one option. Another thing that we've got that has come in is we seem to be getting a lot of PA stuff. So this is just one example. This is a Martin system, but we're getting several different PAs in both parts and pieces, and also in turnkey. There's some Vertec things that have been posted. There's a wide range that's coming around and becoming available. And I don't know if that's because the bigger shows are holding back a little bit in some parts of the world, so then there's more of it available, or people are moving into the newest, latest, greatest, or what that motivation is.
I would think option A, because I know I was talking to somebody at D&B recently, and they're back ordered months and months and months. So I would think that people aren't just buying new gear and getting rid of their old stuff. I would think that it's shows are canceling or not booking.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that.
I just saw one this morning or yesterday that Aerosmith just canceled their European tour that was supposed to happen in June and July.
I have not heard that.
So yeah, I'm sure that's going to bum out our friend Cosmo a little bit, but
yeah. Did you see the article about Cosmo that came out the other day?
I did, yeah.
Cool. I didn't read the whole thing, but I saw the
headline. Can't get him on the phone anymore. I got to go through his agent now.
He's a good guy. And then another one that we've got from Lighting World. So these are here in the U.S., which, that's a lot of the rare stuff these days, are things that are in the United States or North America. Large format fixtures of this type, take it or leave it, whether you like VL4000s or not, but good luck trying to find large format fixtures that are available in the United States. So this is a listing that came online just in the last week that will probably get scooped up pretty quickly. So
cool.
Lots of good things happening.
Yeah. No, these are good. These are good. The audio system, that Martin rig, it's funny, but we are actually seeing, $200,000-$300,000 sound systems selling from different parts of the world to other parts of the world. That's a thing right now. So
absolutely. Yep. Something to put out there too, just a little bit of a plug. We are going to be doing a major promo on February 22nd. So it's our 222 promo, and we're going to have several different listings that are 22% off. So keep an eye out for that. That's something that's coming down the pike, and we will release some teasers of some of the things that are going to be included. So hopefully people can plan ahead a little bit and be ready to go once we get there.
Awesome. Going to wear out the twos on our keyboards.
That's right.
Need
zone stuff.
By the way, massive Need Zone updates to the site very, very soon. Need Zone and the Make Offer section are getting some love finally. So
yeah, I'm really excited about that. That's
Thank God.
Huge. There's so much that we can do with Need Zone in terms of just what the idea of that system is, and we're only touching a surface in terms of the technology. But this is one of the biggest ones that have come up recently. Yamaha stuff, QL/CL has been a need for a long time. We're now starting to see a handful of requests for Rivage systems as well. So some things that are out there. We're also getting a bunch of D&B requests too. That's not specifically in the Need Zone here that you're seeing, but we do have some opportunities for D&B J8, J12s, So some decent sized rig stuff that people are looking for. But audio consoles seem to be kind of the trend as of late of things that we're having trouble sourcing. So Yamaha Ravage, Allen and Heath. I think we've got some Digico requests as well that need to get added to our need zone. So a handful of things. Audio consoles in that world are all good things.
Cool.
So.
You know, and just for those who are listening who maybe just landed, you know, on this planet today and you've never used Need Zone or you don't know what it is, basically, if you are looking for something specific and either A, you don't find it, or B, you need it on a particular date and you don't want to have to try and put it all together on here, you can put in a Need Zone request and it goes out to all of our sellers, and then sellers will respond to your request with an applicable listing based on what price and when you need it delivered and those types of things. So
yep, it also pings our business development team too. So our team will go and make some phone calls and see if they can find something. If they see something that they know that we've got a good source on, then you know, we'll go work on your behalf as a buyer too.
Very cool.
So
very cool stuff everyone wants. So yeah. I mean, isn't it just the same stuff almost every week right now?
It is
like
a lot of the same
Ruby stuff is still super hot. Like you said, any of the large format stuff, even Vipers have been hot lately again.
They have, yeah.
Which is incredible because people were giving them away recently. MA3s are really hot right now all of a sudden, and I think it's because ACT and even MA Lighting are back ordered on MA3s now. But I'm sure you've got other stuff in this list.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the list is those plus the expansion. Like I mentioned, D&B, we've got several interested people in D&B stuff. We've got several inquiries for Vertex stuff. Also have right now people looking for Source 4 Luster 2s, so Series 2 Luster LEDs from ETC. We had several deals that were put together, and then the seller had to back out because they got a long-term rental. So we're looking for about 100 Source 4 LED fixtures that are at a reasonable price and available pretty quickly. So, you know, several things in the hopper. And,
mobile stages too. I saw that we've had a run on mobile stages. We sold a couple of them, and there's more requests for them.
They definitely are the unicorn item, right? When you get a stage, it's a lot of people want them, and it's very rare that anybody runs across them, at least on the right continent.
Right.
You know, it doesn't make a lot of sense to ship a stage over an ocean, but we can certainly help.
Yeah. Perfect. So normally we do Brad's tip of the week here, but instead we're actually going to bring on a guest and get Aaron's tips of the week. And I think we've got a couple of topics that we're going to cover specifically with Aaron. So there he is, the man, the myth.
How are you?
Make you big. Aaron's big.
He's a star.
No. Yeah, I wanted to actually thank you guys for that opening topic there of don't wait to the last minute.
Yeah,
it's actually one that rings true with me right now, because I actually just got an email alert from operations that our Chicago and our Dallas offices are both under weather alerts, winter weather alerts for the next couple of days.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And even bigger than that, it's, you know, everybody will tell you they're not back up to the same staffing levels they were pre-COVID. And so stuff takes time to tech and push out the door.
That's actually a great point. It's something that we haven't even really talked about that much, but you know, staff still, like I know all of these different, and you know, the funny thing is that we're talking about timing. You and us recently had one where you were actually the client. And again, it was last minute, and I heard that it was a straight run to get those units to where they needed to go. So that wasn't cheap.
It's craziness that I'm hitting it, but I yelled at my people at the same exact time. I was like, guys, this is exactly what I preach every single day. Don't wait to the last minute. It takes the shop that's selling it time to make sure that everything's tech, because the worst thing that can happen is that you rush somebody. And rush it out the door, and then it gets to you and it doesn't work.
That's you're in a worse situation than you were.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Well, and again, that's a manpower issue. I mean, you know, the plans kind of get a little sketchy and scattered and messed up and stuff because, you know, people are doing 42 different things and so, yeah, no, it's a great point. And, again, who do you push those costs off to? Like, do those come off your bottom line, or do those get pushed to the client? Or
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I tell people, and I've had it a couple times in the past week here, where clients are like, okay, I paid, can I pick it up this afternoon? And I immediately turn back and go, you can certainly pay me a rush fee, and I'll stop whatever the guys are doing right now for another client and move them onto your project. It's really about the fact that, staffing levels aren't where they used to be. And you have to understand that as a vendor, we have full production schedules that are in effect. Clients have had confirmed jobs with us. And if we need to stop what we're doing to go pull something for you, I've got to charge for that, because we're now going to push ourselves into overtime on our other job.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Total sense.
Absolutely.
So Brad, you had a couple things you wanted to cover with Aaron, right?
I did. So first thing I want to do is just back up a little bit for anybody who doesn't know Aaron. Can you do a little bit of intro on yourself? How long have you been with PRG? How long have you been selling used gear?
What the heck do you do over there?
Background, your elevator pitch.
Don't ask the timeline question there, because whenever I think about how long I've been here, I really scratch my head. This is actually the longest I've been at any company ever. I've been with PRG since May of 2010.
Whoa.
Okay. So you're over a decade now.
Over a decade with them, and either I'm doing something right or I'm doing something wrong. I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, that's
true. But I'm the director of used equipment sales. I started out in assets and operations. Somebody thought I was pretty good at what I did, and they moved me out to Vegas for some ungodly reason. I worked for our national asset team for about a year, and then they said, hey, why don't you head up our used equipment sales? And I've been doing that for about 9 years now. And it's been a wild ride. And I'll tell you this, it's a fun job. You meet all kinds of people. You build some really great relationships, and you truly learn about the business as a whole, and you learn about people.
You sit in a really interesting spot, because you're between, the guys that are selling tours and the people that are deciding what things to buy, and the executive and financial teams that are saying yes or no to money, and all those different things. You kind of see all the moving parts and pieces, and you're somewhere in the middle.
I do, and those guys even come to me when they say, hey man, we're looking for this. Can you help us out in finding this out on the used equipment market? So it's a tough job. I mean, I'm sometimes I have to be the voice of reason for PRG, and get them to understand that the longer you hold on to something, it's not necessarily a good thing. Yeah, it's making us money, no questions about it. But
that's always the argument. I can still rent an IntelliBeam for $50 a week. Why would I sell it for $100?
And the biggest thing I say to them is that, we can keep working the VL3000s, but at the end of the day, we just had another auction last week, and I think we sold them for like $200 a piece.
Yeah.
And the funny part is that I still have 400 more to go.
Oh my goodness.
$200 for an IntelliBeam is pretty good.
No, you're looking at it, you're going, my God, are we ever going to be done with these? But it's I'm in a precarious position here, because the sales guys love me, and they also hate me at the same point in time, because I generate cash so that we can go buy some new equipment, but at the same point in time, I'm taking away equipment that they may be able to use on a concert tour or on a Broadway show.
Well, that ends up leaving them short, because they can't replace it right now. It's hard to go out and buy new stuff too.
And one thing that we've noticed, you guys were making the point of people are rolling backwards into Vipers now, and Vipers have taken an uptick. Certainly something that we're seeing from a used equipment side is that we're able to push the price back up again on Vipers, on Sharpies, on the lamp-based fixtures, because of the fact there's not enough LED being manufactured these days. You guys were mentioning the fact that in the need zone there's the Yamaha console and the Allen and Heath consoles. Well, with the current manufacturing crisis,
you're at an 8 to 12 month lead time on the Yamaha stuff. I don't know about Allen and Heath.
Now suddenly an Allen and Heath thinks it's a Digico. And people are accepting it. Exactly. I identify as a Digico. Buy me.
It's craziness, but yeah, it's a fun time, that's for sure.
Yeah.
No, I think that's an interesting point, and you know, something for buyers to keep in mind is that it is not the same world that it was before COVID.
No.
With everything going on, both between lead times and also pricing, you know, where you used to maybe be able to find a great deal on something that was in the US for, say, you know, next week available, that is the hot item that everybody's putting out on tour, doesn't exist. It's not here. So if you can find it, you're either going to pay more, or you're going to bring it from someplace else. You're going to pay for the shipping or whatever else.
And I'll tell you something. One thing that I've certainly learned in the past 9 years is if you really want top dollar on your equipment, you have to have great presentation.
Yeah,
and when I say that, it's go out and buy a simple background kit, a white background kit, and put your equipment in front of a white background. Get rid of all the other pallet racking behind it. Get rid of everything else in your garage. Simple things that will clear all the other distractive noise around the particular item you're trying to sell. Presentation is everything when it comes to used equipment gear.
Well, one of the things that you know that I think a lot of sellers don't know yet because they haven't done it enough or whatever is the less you provide via pictures and description, the more questions you're going to get. And the more complaints you're going to get after the fact. You know, if you take pictures of blemishes instead of hiding blemishes, people aren't going to return something when they see that it's got a blemish, you know, or attempt to return it.
At the end of the day, putting up a picture of what the manufacturer has on their website does you no good at all, because you're not being honest. You're not showing people the blemishes, the things that are wrong with the unit. People know they're not buying brand new, but they should also know what they're actually getting.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this, Aaron, in the vein of that, how do you guys deal with when you're selling large quantities of equipment? Because you have a very deep inventory, right? So when you're selling something where you have 100, 200, 400 fixtures, how do you decide which ones you're going to take pictures of, and how you kind of determine that middle ground?
So what we really look for is, number one, I send my guys out in the shop. I say, I need representational pictures. That's the biggest thing, is give me representational pictures of the actual units themselves. Fronts, backs, displays. I'm not asking you to find the ugliest unit, but I don't want the prettiest unit either. And what we always say is what you see up there is representational of what the inventory is. We do our best to maintain the inventory. Yes, some are in worse condition than others. But I also, when we send it to the shop, we ask them, do us a favor. If there's anything wrong with it, let me know now. It's better to fix something before it goes out the door than to get the complaint afterwards.
Absolutely.
And so when we're taking our pictures, I tell them, don't be afraid to get up close and give me the scratch, or give me the dent or something like that. I'd rather price it with a dent in there and show somebody what they're going to get than have it show up on somebody's door and then we suddenly work the complaint side of it.
Right. Then you got to talk about refunds or price adjustments or whatever else. Yeah.
No, I agree with you completely.
Absolutely. Yeah. What about cases? Do you guys generally take pictures of cases, and what's sort of your rule of thumb on when you do or when you don't?
We do our best to, especially when we're it's a custom case. When we're customized to the specific fixture or the specific projector, we like to take pictures of the cases so that people understand the size of the case they're getting and what the case is. You know, cases come in singles, duals, quads, 8 ways now, 6 ways. So you really want to let your client know what they're getting, and not to be shocked when the freight cost is through the roof. Well, this is the size case it's in. And then when they say to you, well, I only need 7, I don't need 8. Yeah, but I don't need one fixture sitting on my shelf.
I'm a straggling fixture. There's no case.
Exactly. You want to take that picture and you want to show them exactly what they're getting and how you want to sell that item, so that way, less confusion, less questions. The more time you spend going back and forth with the client over questions and haggling, it's time and money at that point.
Yeah. No, I hear you. So number one on your list of sort of tips for people is presentation. Make sure that you've got good photos and make sure that your listing looks good. You've got a good description. What would you say is sort of your second most important item when you're going to sell stuff and create listings.
Honesty, honesty, honesty. Do not try to sugarcoat how old your equipment is. Don't sugarcoat the condition of your equipment. Be honest about it. Tell them it's worked on this type of show, whether it's a concert tour, whether it's local events. Let them know if, yes, this item here was actually, we were out at a local festival and it got rained on. Yes, there may be issues. People appreciate honesty more than anything else in this business.
Well, and you're avoiding a problem down the road, obviously, because it is going to become a problem if you don't tell them up front. And I mean, these are general rules in sort of everything, right? But making sure that, I mean, it's similar. It's funny if you think about it. You're like, when you said you're sending people out to the shop not to get the worst fixture or pictures of the best fixture, but sort of in the middle. So on dating terms, you're looking for a 5, right? And so if you go on dating sites and these 5s are putting up pictures of 10s, eventually you're going to find out she's a 5, right?
No,
so
of course.
No catfishing. No catfishing.
Exactly.
No, I think that's really.
Is that what that's called? Catfishing? All right, I'm too old to know the terms.
Probably kids out there watching MTV right now. But no, I think one of the biggest things that I've learned in doing this is really take pictures that are actually of the equipment itself and nothing else around it. Throw up a bed sheet behind it. Get a professional camera kit off of Amazon for $100. Get a good camera. Don't take pictures with your iPhone. I plead with you, don't do it. One of the biggest things I learned is people tend to put stuff on the ground and then take a picture with their phone, and all you see are people's feet when they're taking that picture. And I hate that with a passion. And I couldn't care less what else you have in your garage with you. I just want to see the piece of equipment by itself so that I can actually examine what I'm purchasing.
Yeah. No, it's a great point. It's a great point. What about price? Is price important?
Yeah, I mean, you have to do your research. You really have to see what other people are putting it out there for. And just remember one thing here: just because somebody puts it up on eBay for $500 less than what you would what everybody else is putting it up for, that doesn't mean the eBay guy is right. The eBay guy probably has 1 or 2 of those where you have 50 of them. You're in a better place to sell something to somebody because of the fact that you have quantity. And you're able to look at them and say, yeah, that guy may be selling his Meyer Melody for $1,500. Well, the fact is that he's only got 1. I've got 24 over here. I can sell you a system, or you can try to piece together multiple sellers.
Right. Or if you have a problem, I can help. Right. He's the guy in his garage. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, you really got to do your research when it comes to what other people are selling it for, and just remember that condition and age is everything. Everybody asks how old is the piece of equipment. One of the bigger things we get these days is how many hours are on the equipment. Do some research, make sure that
with LEDs it obviously matters. Like on lamp-based fixtures, you change the lamp, worst case scenario, right? But LED fixtures, it matters.
Have we hit the 50,000 mark on the 50,000 hours on
I haven't
LED
seen one. I haven't seen one. Yeah.
Probably coming out close, but I don't think we have yet.
That used to be the benchmark, and I'm just waiting for the first person to go, wait a minute, we went past 50,000.
Yeah. Let's try and sell some, they're like 49,500 and give somebody a discount, because there's only 500 hours left, and then it's gonna
only 500 hours left. But,
just like the world's gonna end in what does AOC say this week? 7 years. The world's gonna end in a fiery explosion.
Look, you guys were talking about the luster twos, man, and we were. It was funny. The early part of last year, they were like gung ho. Look, we're putting in the PO for the new lusters. And then towards the end of last year, it was, hold on a second here. They can't manufacture them fast enough. Don't sell them all.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
It's a crazy world we're living in. That's for sure.
It is nuts. It's hard to stay on top of. And I'll tell you, a lot of people think what we do is really easy, but you know, everyone expects us to see into the future, see into the past, know exactly what's going on, know when Roby's going to ship their new product or when this company's going to, I mean, it's tough, you know, and we're not going to lie to anyone. That's for sure.
No.
So anything else, Brad?
That was all that we had on the list to talk about, but any other, let me ask this, Aaron, I guess, if you had sort of one tip for somebody who'd never sold used gear before, outside of the things that we've talked about, but what is the number one thing that they should pay attention to?
If you tell them to go to Facebook Marketplace, I'm going to jump through and kill you right now.
To be honest, in all honesty, the biggest thing when you're going to go sell something is be honest up front.
Yep.
That's the biggest key to this whole game, is be honest up front and don't be afraid that people are going to sit here and nitpick on you here. It's a crazy world we live in. And as long as you're honest up front and you live by that, you can make a lot of money in this industry.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's amazing the things that sell. Every day you'll see something sell that you're like, I haven't seen one of those in 20 years, or I don't even know what that is, or, you know.
I look, some guy was selling a dual cassette deck the other day, and I went, God bless him.
Yeah. Well, the funniest one we ever sold on GearSource that I can remember anyways was a like Jetsons mechanical bull, like a really space age futuristic. It was from NSYNC. NSYNC had a gimmick in their show where the guys came up on lifts on these mechanical bulls, and they rode these, and they had like lasers in the eyes and smoke coming out the nose and stuff. And so when the band broke up, they all took their bulls for some reason. I don't know what they did with them, except the one guy, the one who came out as gay. I can't remember which one he is.
There was only one.
That one didn't want his bull. And so we end up with this
all the
bull.
ones that doesn't want the bull.
Exactly. Well, and here's the funny thing. So we sold it to a gay club in Colorado. I mean, that was the crazy thing about it. I couldn't believe that this mechanical bull sold. So, but you know,
I bet they took good pictures and they had it priced well.
Yeah,
I saw some RoboScan 518s sell, like, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago or something. I always watch these orders come through just, you know, to see like, wow, somebody bought that. You know, it's crazy, but it's what we do. Excellent. Thank you, Aaron. We appreciate you very much, buddy.
You got it. No problem.
Thanks for jumping on, and thanks for being such a good partner with us. We'll speak to you soon.
Sounds good.
See you, buddy. Bye. And so that's it for another edition.
That's right. Someday we'll get some intro outro music.
We are going to get some intro outro music. Our intro outro music creator is developing his basement right now into a basement suite. And so he's in construction mode and therefore can't write our intro outro.
Sounds like the music is just a bunch of saws and hammers going.
Yeah, we're going to get it. All right, buddy.
Cool. Thanks.
Have a good one, everyone. Thanks
everybody for tuning in. See you next time.